Hello, and welcome to Verbling. Hi there, my name is Teacher Oakley, and for the next hour, we are going to be looking at a recipe or two. Not only will we learn how to make a wonderful dish from the Philippines, but we will also learn some basic English vocabulary, which we use to talk about and actually prepare recipes. A little bit of everything, some nouns for food, some adjectives to describe what the food's supposed to look like, some verbs to describe the actions taken. Really a little this and a little that. So we're going to look at a couple of recipes from where I live in the Philippines. I'm an American, but I currently live in the Philippines. And we're going to look at a couple of Filipino favorites. Make sure you download them from below the class description here at Verbling. So not only will you learn a little English, but you'll also have a lovely meal to prepare. Hello, Anna Carolina. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, teacher. I'm doing well, thank you.
Great. Glad to hear it. Welcome to the class. Do you like to cook, Anna?
I like to cook from time to time, but I have a maid, and she cooks for me.
Hmm?
I hate to cleaning my kitchen.
Yeah, well, who doesn't? Uh-huh. Um, I just made dinner for myself and my family this evening, actually. It's nighttime here in the Philippines. Well, early evening. I just made an enormous dinner. I cooked far too much food. We had rice and chicken chow mein, and I made homemade barbecued pork ribs with my own special barbecue sauce, which I made up out of my head. It was awesome. So anyway, I love to cook myself. I enjoy it. Okay. Well, for those other viewers who are out there in Verbling land, come on in and join us. The more the merrier. There's plenty of room in the class. You can join anytime. It really doesn't matter. Okay, Anna, yes, we're going to look at the recipe and learn how to cook a dish, but our main focus, of course, is learning English. So here we go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to screen share. What? You're out without electricity? Why? What happened?
Um, a reactor nearby just blew, and
Oh,
they are fixing it right now. But
okay.
they told me that she just midday it will be fixed.
Okay. Well, keep my fingers crossed. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we go. Let's get started. I'm going to screen share this recipe, and we're going to talk about how to prepare this dish. Keeping an eye on and talking. We'll look at some of the vocabulary, and I'll explain it, and we'll talk about many different things regarding English vocabulary for recipes. Hello, Wellington.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you
I'm
today?
fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, Anna.
Okay. We are going to look at a dish called chicken adobo. Where's the capital A? There we go. Chicken adobo. This is a pretty famous, well-known dish here in the Philippines where I'm currently living. Okay. Let's take a look at the recipe. Of course, the list of ingredients that you need to make a dish. The list of what you need are the ingredients, of course. Okay, well, let's take a look. Okay, 125 ml or half a cup of apple cider vinegar. C note. Okay. All right. Anna, do people frequently use vinegar to cook with in your country?
I don't know any dish
No.
with no. I
You know
don't
what?
know any dish with
You know what vinegar is,
vinegar. Yes, of course, I use it to put
okay?
on my salad.
Right?
I like the black one, the balsamic teacher.
Oh, okay. All right. That's true. Many people like vinegar and a little oil on their salad. Absolutely
What's
true.
the, what is the name of the black vinegar?
The
Balsamic?
oh, balsamic.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really
All right.
black, dark brown, but
Yes, I like the balsamic vinegar.
oh yeah, sure. Balsamic vinegar. Do you know what balsam is, actually? Uh,
Mm-mm.
okay, it comes from balsam. Balsam is actually a type of wood. There's actually a kind of wood in that particular vinegar that you mentioned, which gives it that flavor, a very robust, strong, and pungent flavor. It's actually a type of tree. Okay, there are many types of vinegars. Apple cider vinegar, which they suggest here. Coconut vinegar they like to use sometimes here in the Philippines. There are white vinegar. There's a number of different types of vinegar. Basically, any kind of fruit juice you can make a vinegar from. Just like any kind of fruit juice, you can make wine from. You can make wine from any kind of fruit. Just happens to be a lot better if you make it out of grapes. But in any case, vinegar and wine are closely related. Vinegar doesn't have the alcohol, of course. Wellington. Okay. Actually, I should have you guys read the ingredients as we go down, and we'll talk about them. Wellington, next one.
Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. 80
Milliliters.
milliliters, and 1/3 cup soy sauce.
Okay. Okay, 80 milliliters or 1/3 of a cup is approximately the same amount. Wellington, do people use soy sauce to cook with?
Soy sauce? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
They
All right.
use it. They use it here.
Okay. It's very common in many of the foods here. Of course, I live in Asia, so obviously they use it a lot. Okay. Okay, Anna Carolina. Next one, please.
6 cloves garlic, bruised
All right. Garlic.
garlic.
Okay. What?
I like
You like garlic? I love garlic.
a lot.
Me too.
But teacher, I
Yeah.
don't know bruised garlic.
Ah,
I know bruised on my body if I hurt myself.
right.
But what does it mean?
Okay, let's talk about it. First of all, what is a clove of garlic? Let's start beginning.
It, it's a piece that you take away from the head
That's
of
right.
the garlic.
Very good. A head of garlic is the whole round thing. When you, like a section, almost like a section of orange that you remove, a section of garlic is called a clove. Now, bruised, what that means is if you have a clove of garlic, you peel it, of course, and then you lean on it with a knife, okay? You don't chop it up with the edge of the knife. You sort of put the flat of the knife, the side of the blade on the garlic, and you lean on it. So it kind of squashes it. but you're not really chopping it into slices or chopping it into tiny pieces. Okay? So that's what it means, bruised garlic. You're just kind of
I so
squishing.
bruised means it's kind of smashed.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it means. Exactly. Okay. Let me welcome a couple other joiners to the class. Hello, Daniel. Welcome.
Hello, teacher. How are you,
Hello.
teacher?
I'm doing okay. Now I can hear you. You're very, very clear, but the volume is very low. If I listen carefully, it's not a problem because it's really clear. But if you can make the volume a little higher, that would be great. If you can't, don't worry. We can work with it. Okay. Anyway, welcome to the class.
Thank you.
All right. Hajar, welcome. Hello, hello. How are you today?
Hello, teacher. I'm fine, thank you.
Great. Glad to hear it. Nice to have you back in class again.
Thanks.
Okay. We'll come around to you in just a little bit. Wellington, what's our next ingredient? Wellington?
Sorry. Please help me. 3
This is a measurement, centimeters.
centimeters. Okay, centimeters. Okay, centimeters. Okay. And 3 centimeters pieces ginger, finely grated.
Okay, so they want do you know what ginger is, Wellington?
Yes, yes. I like a lot. I like too much with sushi and other
Oh
things
yeah,
like that.
right. That's it. Yep, that's the one. Pickled ginger. Usually you have a sushi. Delicious. I agree. Okay, so the long pieces of ginger, sometimes called fingers of ginger. Ginger is a root. So they want you to take a piece about 3 centimeters long, a little more than an inch long, and finely grate it. What does that mean, Wellington? What are you going to do?
Finely grated.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yes, it's like is mesh.
Well, almost. Yeah,
Yeah, but in small pieces, like uh, uh, we can do with cheese or something like that.
okay. There's a device you need to use called a grater. Right, that's what I wanted to get at. Right. Usually metal. I guess they can make them out of plastic now as well. A grater or a cheese grater. Sometimes sometimes it's in the form of like a box. Sometimes just one like metal plate. But anyway, it has raised pieces that if you push whatever, say cheese or ginger, you push it on the grater, small pieces come out under the grater. And there's various sizes of how big those holes are, how big those pieces are shoved out. So the size of the pieces falling out they can be different size. Finely grated, of course, fine in English means very, very small. So very fine sand, for example, would be tiny, 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 barely can even see pieces. So finely grated, very, very tiny pieces.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Daniel, can you read the next one here?
Okay, teacher. 2 long red chilies, thinly sliced, fruit extra sliced to serve.
All righty. Do you know what chilies are, or sometimes chili peppers?
Chili peppers is like a traditional food in Mexico.
Yeah, but of course there's many, many different kinds of hot peppers. But anyway, basically These are the really long, skinny ones, very thin. Okay. Just a type of hot pepper that they have here. Thinly sliced. Okay, very thin, very narrow pieces. Now they say plus extra, and then extra sliced to serve. Daniel, what does that mean? When you see in an English recipe, when you see to serve, do you have any idea what that means?
Yeah, to serve is when the food is cooked, finished, and I put in plate and set
Okay.
in table.
Well, okay, you're getting there. All right, you're gonna put the 2 peppers thinly sliced into the dish, but then they want extra to serve. This means you're going to use it when you see to serve. This means you will use it as garnish, or you may put a little extra on the side in case somebody wants some extra hot peppers. Right. So to serve. Daniel, do you know what it's called when you add something to the final dish? You add something, maybe fresh herb leaves or a flower or a carved piece of fruit or tomato. Do you know what that's called? You add something to make it more pretty. No?
No.
Okay, that's called garnish. You make a nice dish or something, and then you add something to pretty it up. Maybe you carve a rose out of a tomato, or you add parsley sprigs or chopped parsley to add a little color, a little green color. Anything you add there to make it a little prettier. Sometimes flowers. There are many edible flowers. If you eat in a restaurant, most good restaurants will garnish the food. They'll make it look a little prettier. Okay, so that's called garnish. Hajar, next one.
Yes. 4 bay leaves.
Okay, bay leaves. 4 bay leaves. Yeah, bay leaves. Yes. And yes, Anna Carolina, yes, that is the correct spelling. That's right. And I am typing in the Verbling chat. I have to type in there. Sorry, but if you want to see what I'm typing over there, then you have to just click on the Verbling thing. Hajar, sorry, bay leaves. Do you know what bay leaves are?
No.
Okay, they're actually the leaves of a certain kind of a tree. Well, not
Yeah, leaves, but no, I don't know the bay.
a bay
What's
tree.
the kind?
Yeah, it's a kind of a tree. Basically, I guess subtropical. Anyway, they're used for flavor. They're used for flavoring a lot of Mediterranean foods. Americans love to use bay leaves in their food. It's a very subtle flavor that it adds, but you're not supposed to eat them. In fact, you shouldn't eat them because they're slightly poisonous. Not terribly poisonous. You'd have to eat, 3 kilos of bay leaves, and that's pretty much impossible. But anyway, they're used as seasoning. Hajar, I've got a very difficult question for you. Hajar, what is the difference between spices and herbs? You know? What's the difference between a spice and an herb? That's H-E-R-B. Spices and herbs.
Spices and herbs.
Do you know?
No.
Okay. Well, okay. Herbs, H-E-R-B, and herb, or herbs, are the leaves of a plant, which we use for flavor. or sometimes actually for medicinal reasons, for medical reasons, homeopathic medicines. They're the actual leaves of a plant that we use to cook with. On the other hand, spices are literally everything else. Ginger, for example, is a root. Pepper, black pepper, is peppercorn. They are like seeds, or coriander seeds, sesame seeds. There's many kinds of seeds. Cinnamon is actually bark from a tree. Okay, so they could be many of different parts of a plant, but basically herbs are the leaves and the spices are anything else that you use on a plant. Okay? All right, there's some interesting ones, like the stigma of a flower is used, it's called saffron. It's very, very expensive, but saffron is actually just one tiny part of the flower, and that's a spice. Okay, continuing. Anna Carolina, what's the next thing we need here?
55 grams, 1/4 cup firmly packed brown sugar.
All right, super, terrific. I'm sure you probably know what brown sugar is. What does it mean? What does it mean, firmly packed?
It means that you put a lot in the cup.
You put as much as will go in, and then try to put a little more. Yeah, that's it. That's the idea. Firmly packed. Okay, if something is firmly packed, you're trying to shove it in there as much as possible. All right, that's the idea. Wellington, what's next? Wellington, you get all the crazy abbreviations.
1 tablespoon black peppercorns.
All right, you got it. Very good.
The Google translation helped me.
Okay, all right. Sometimes you see tablespoon like that. Sometimes, more often, I think you see TBL for tablespoon.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other one you often see is TSP. Do you know what TSP is?
No. Teaspoon?
Teaspoon. Yes, you do know what it is. Okay. Okay. Now, for the tough question, Wellington, how many teaspoons in 1 tablespoon? Ah.
How many? I think 4.
Close.
Close 3.
Pretty close. 3. Okay. How many tablespoons in 1 ounce?
1 ounce? I don't know. Sorry, I don't.
Of course not. Nobody knows. Nobody knows this stuff. I know this stuff because I used to be a chef, but 2 tablespoons are in 1 ounce. Okay. I have to know these things if you're making huge quantities of things. Okay. Peppercorns. As I mentioned earlier, peppercorns are round, like the round seeds that pepper comes from. This dish, we use the whole peppercorns, not ground pepper that most of us use. Okay, moving on. Daniel, next. Next, please, Daniel. Daniel, are you there? Daniel? Sure, connection problem. Yeah. Okay. Hajar.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
One
Next one
large
here.
onion, thinly sliced.
Okay, well, I think you know thinly sliced, but Hajar, how large is a large onion?
onion.
How large is a large onion in your country? Because I'll tell you something. A large onion in America is a completely different thing than a large onion here in the Philippines. They are about 3 large onions Philippine style equals 1 large onion American style. So, in any case, yeah, a large onion in America is really quite large. You need to hold both hands to hold it. In fact, you might not be able to put both of your hands around it. Okay. So it depends. This happens a lot if you're following English recipes. All right, 1 medium carrot, 1 small carrot, 1 whatever. In that case, obviously, you just have to guess. Just take a guess, do your best, and if you really like onions, add some more. If you don't like onions, add less. Don't worry about it too much. Okay, we've had another student join us. Hello, Ayara.
Hello, hi teacher.
Hi, how are you?
Good, great. Thank
Great.
you. I'm having an issue with my connection, so sorry I'm late.
It's okay, not a problem. Yeah, I didn't think you were going to make it, so all right. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, and last but not least, okay, well, our last ingredient, Ayara, since you're here, it's basically your turn, you're last in. Go ahead and read this one for me.
Just a moment.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, I didn't think you were going to make it, so all right. Good to have you here. All right, and last but not least. Can you see it, Ayara? Okay, well, our last ingredient, Ayara, since you're... Are you there, Ayara? I'm not sure if I lost you too now.
Hello, sorry, my connection is very poor, teacher, sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Okay, now I can read now, sorry.
All right. Go ahead. This last one here.
Which line?
The one that's yellow now.
1.2 kilograms chicken wings.
Very good. That's it. So this is chicken adobo. This is a chicken dish. Now, here in the Philippines, they basically, I'm an American, but I live in the Philippines. And here, this goes without saying. Steamed white rice to serve. You do not cook anything whatsoever at all. There's nothing you eat, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, where you don't eat with rice. That just doesn't exist here in the Philippines. So every possible meal that you eat here, you have rice. Okay, Ayara, where do you, hello? Where do you live again?
I'm living in Australia at the moment, but I'm from Brazil.
Ah, okay. In Brazil, is it necessary to eat rice with everything?
Basically, yeah,
Basically? Okay.
Very common.
All right.
Rice and beans.
Rice and beans. Yeah, I like rice and beans. I'm okay with that. Here in the Philippines, it's rice and whatever. If they make a sandwich, they make rice to eat with the sandwich. It's crazy.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. All right, now we're looking at a recipe. Time for the steps. Anna Carolina, step 1. You've got the big one here. Can you read this one for me, please?
Thank you. Sure. Place vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, ginger, chilies, bay leaves, sugar, peppercorns, onion, and 500 milliliters 2 cups, water in a large bowl. Stir well to combine. Add chicken and stir to coat. Marinate at room temperature for 30 minutes.
Okay, so fairly easy recipe. Just throw everything in a large bowl. Stir well to combine. What does this mean, Anna? Stir to coat.
I don't know, coach.
Coat. Okay. Have you ever painted like a wall? Not a painting, not a landscape or a portrait, but like a wall. Yes?
No, but I know what you mean.
All right.
Okay.
You paint the
So
wall
you,
once. You paint the wall
you have
once.
to stir.
Yeah, you
You
paint the
have to
wall once.
stir.
Yeah. You paint the wall once, that's one coat of paint. If you let that dry and you paint it again, you've put on 2 coats of paint. So it means one outside layer. So if you coat something, you cover it evenly and completely. So
Alright.
if a child comes into the house and he's coated with mud, that means he has a layer of mud all over his body, from head to foot. He's completely covered with one layer of mud. So that's what coat means. You coat something. How about this next word? Wait a minute. We're not done yet. Anna Carolina, what does it mean to marinate? This is a verb.
Yes, I know. It means that you have to let the seasonings in it um, till the chicken soak up the seasoning.
That's right. You need the chicken to soak up the seasoning and the flavor in the marinade. The noun of marinate is with a D, a marinade. Marinade, of course, as we can see plainly here from this recipe, soy sauce, vinegar, water, obviously liquid. So a marinade is a liquid substance. It's a liquid with lots of different flavors and things in it. And you basically want to drown the chicken or whatever. You can marinate lots of things. I made barbecued ribs for dinner. I marinated them for about half a day. A liquid. Sometimes you can cook where instead of a liquid, you coat them with herbs and spices. A combination of herbs and spices. That is called a dry rub. So it's like a marinade, but if it's wet, it's a marinade. If it's dry, it's just a dry rub. Okay, continuing. All right, Wellington, let's take a look at step 2 here.
Okay. Transfer chicken mixture to a large, heavy-based saucepan. Bring it to the boil over high heat. Reduce heat to the medium. Cover loosely with foil, then simmer, stirring occasionally for 25 minutes or until chicken is just cooked.
Okay, be careful with
Cooked.
the ED. That's it, you got it. The ED ending after a K, a verb that ends with K. Cook, cooked, cooked. T sound, yeah, you got it. Okay, but you knew that. All right. Transfer chicken mixture. All right, take everything and transfer it to a heavy-based saucepan. Another way I could say that, what's another word for a saucepan? Do you know?
Other words?
Yeah.
A pen.
Okay. Well, heavy based, that means that the metal is thick. So I can also say thick gauge. When I'm talking about how thick the metal is in something, I can use the word gauge. It's okay, a heavy gauge. It's very thick. All right. But all right, this is a saucepan is generally smaller, but you can call it. You can pretty much you can use a pot, a
Okay.
pan, whatever. Pans are generally smaller with a handle. Pots usually have two handles, but there's different size pans and different size pots. You can have a small pot or a big pan. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, you can just as easily use a pot here. All right, bring to the boil. I don't really like that. I should have changed that a long time ago. I don't like the use of the article the there. Bring to a boil, one of many possible boils. Bring to a boil over high heat. Well, I'm sure you understand what that means. Crank the flame on and boil it as fast as you can. And then you're going to reduce the heat to medium, covering loosely with foil. What's foil? Wellington, do you know?
And I don't know, but I think that is leaves of thick aluminum. Is correct?
Yeah, that's it. Yes, they're talking about, of course, aluminum foil. Now, I'm an American, so I say aluminum. British people,
Aluminum foil.
British, British people say aluminium.
Okay.
Aluminium. Yeah, whatever. We say it differently, Brits and Americans. But yeah, that's what they're talking about.
Okay.
Right. And then simmer. What does it mean to simmer? Another verb.
I don't know.
Okay, let me explain. Important cooking term. To simmer is to cook where whatever liquid you're cooking is just barely boiling. Okay?
Okay.
Just barely. The slowest boil that you can get it to boil, but you can say that it's boiling, but the least heat that you can get it to actually still boil. Okay, so then you're gonna, all right, cook it for another 25 minutes or so. Okay. All right. Until chicken is just cooked. You don't want to overcook it because it dries it out. Okay, next little bit here. Daniel, you take step 3, please. Daniel, are you there? Daniel, are you connected? Daniel. No? Not.
I am.
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, step 3, please.
Yeah, teacher. I am
Okay,
here.
please go ahead. Step 3.
All right. Step 3. Using tongs, remove chicken wings and transfer to a large bowl. Simmer sauce for a further 10 minutes or until reduced by half and thickened slightly.
Okay, thickened slightly. All right.
Thickened slightly.
All right. Starting from the top here. What, Daniel? What are tongs? Tongs. Besides fun to say, what are tongs?
Tongs.
Tongs. Well, they're not ladies' underwear.
I don't know. I don't know tongs.
Okay. They are basically, well, do you have an opposable thumb, Daniel? I'm sure you do. So if you close your thumb and your fingers together, tongs are just like that. They're long. They have two sides, and when you squeeze the tongs, they pinch together so that you can move very hot things. Like you use tongs to flip the meat over on a barbecue. You would use tongs to grab something out of boiling water so that you don't have to use your hands and injure yourself. Tongs are, well, I'll tell you, as a former chef, you walk around with tongs on you like a cowboy has a gun. At all times, a chef should have tongs on him. You never know when you're going to need tongs. You can use tongs. If you're a chef, you can pretty much use tongs the way normal people use hands. You can pretty much do anything with tongs. You get really good at them. But anyway, tongs are like long pinchers you use to grab things. So obviously you would use them to grab the very hot, boiling chicken wings and transfer or move them. Okay, then simmer we talked about. All right. A lot of times in English recipes, you will see this kind of phrase, reduce by half. That means, obviously, you start with 1 cup. When you keep cooking it and it evaporates, boils away, when it gets to a half a cup, you're probably there. Okay. Moving on. Next step, Hajar.
Yes. Return chicken to pan and stir to combine. Cook for a further 5 minutes or until chicken is cooked throughout. Call for 5 minutes.
Okay. Return chicken to pan and stir to combine. Hajar, combine.
Combine.
Yeah, mix it together. Stir to mix it all together. Combine is another word that means mix it all together. Okay. Until chicken is cooked through. Actually, it's already cooked, but they're just saying until all the chicken is completely hot again. Cool for 5 minutes. What does that mean, Hajar? Cool for 5 minutes. What should you do? You should be cool. You should put on sunglasses. Maybe a baseball hat backwards. You should listen to some rock music. No. What does that mean when you see in a recipe?
It's less to sorry.
You might see this as well. It means the same thing.
Yes, but I can't. I can't.
Don't do anything. That's what it means. Don't do anything. Just let it sit there for 5 minutes. That's it.
Yes.
If something, if food is cooling, here cool is a verb. All right. If it's cooling, you're not doing anything to it. You're letting it naturally be less hot. So, okay. You may also see this, let rest for 5 minutes. What that means is don't touch it for 5 minutes. Very simple. Okay. And then that's it. Divide chicken adobo among bowls. Spoon over sauce, then scatter with extra sliced chilies for garnish. You remember our garnish? Serve with steamed white rice. All right. So much for that recipe. We still got some time left, so plenty of time. Let's look at another one and talk about some of the words that come up in this recipe. All right, so much for chicken adobo. Let's take a look at another dish called pork sinigang. Okay. In many English recipes, you'll see this. Estimated cooking and preparation time, 1 hour. All right, Ayara. Can you pronounce this?
Pork. It's so hard. Pork, sinigang, ingredients.
Pretty good. That's actually really good. Sinigang. For those who are actually thinking of preparing this dish, you can, if you don't eat pork or you don't like pork, no problems. I like shrimp sinigang is delicious. Chicken sinigang, also very good. You can make this with anything. Okay. Ayara, first ingredient.
3. I don't know how to say this, but 3/4.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. 3/4 kilo pork cut into chunks.
All right. Well, how you say this? 3/4.
3/4. Okay.
3/4. And if I was speaking it in English, I would say 3/4 of a kilo of pork. 3/4 of a kilo of pork cut into chunks. What are chunks?
In cups? I don't know.
How big is a chunk? Well,
I don't know. I don't know.
depends what you're talking about, doesn't it? If you're talking about a chunk of a volcano, it's probably pretty big. Talking about a chunk of your tooth, it's probably pretty small. Okay, chunk, basically another thing you will see in recipes, you'll see sometimes they'll write bite-sized pieces. Even that isn't very descriptive because my bite size may be completely different, of course. But basically a chunk is a fairly big piece. 1 bite, maybe 2 bites, maybe 1.5 bites. It's like a chunk when you see that in a recipe. That's basically what they're talking about. 1 big bite, maybe. Okay, moving on. Anna? Actually, you can read a couple here.
Okay.
Maybe.
3 tomatoes sliced.
All right. What is sliced?
You cut in slices.
In slices. Very good. Yes, indeed you do. Okay. Thin slices that go all the way across whatever it is, whatever vegetable. If you slice a cucumber, the round way, you cut through it in thin slices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, like that. Yeah, all the way through. Okay. Next one, Anna. What else?
2 onions. I
What is diced? All right, that's sliced.
I don't know.
But it's diced. Okay, diced are basically, well, to tell you the truth, and you don't need to know this, it's not really important, but there's chefs learn all kinds of, there's Brunoise, Nickoise, there's different sizes, but roughly speaking, diced means something that's like a small square, pretty much the size of like a child's tooth. All right, if you can relate to that. Not as big as an adult tooth, but like the size of a child's tooth. There are different it's very technical culinary terms for bigger and smaller.
You have to know.
No, you really don't have to know.
It makes the difference.
You'll never see this. You'll only see this in cooking textbooks. Okay, you will never see this in a civilian. You would only see this if you go to a university for cooking. All right, you would never see it.
What's the Brunoise and Nickoise?
There's basically maybe not even a half a centimeter, maybe 10 millimeters. No, there are very tiny difference in sizes of diced. Okay, Brunoise is like an adult's tooth. Nickoise is like a regular, like a child's tooth. Or there's another one that's like a baby's tooth. They don't really matter. Really, trust me, it's really completely unimportant. Even chefs don't really care, but it's very. There are technical words for the exact size, but seriously, you don't need to know. No one needs to know. Even chefs don't need to know. Hajar.
Yes.
Next one.
5 cloves of garlic minced.
Okay, now this word is minced. Here it's an adjective. The verb is to mince. Okay, that's the verb. What does that mean? Minced or to mince. What is, well, let's talk about the verb. Hajar, do you know what it, you know what mince means?
It's to make garlic like sauce or pad.
Well, it's chopping with a knife, but very, 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 very tiny. So you're chopping like with your knife. All right. You have very, very small pieces, like pieces the size of sand, basically. Okay. That's minced. All right. That's it. Very good. Okay. All right. Okay, Ayara. Look at a couple others here.
100 grams, King Kong, river spinach.
River spinach. You don't have this in your country, which you probably don't. It's only really native to here, I think, in Thailand. King Kong. No, I'm sure you never have. Feel free to substitute regular spinach. Really shouldn't make a difference. Okay. Next one, Ayara. Go ahead. Another one here.
100 grams string beans.
All right. Do you have string beans? Do you know what string beans are?
No.
No, really?
I've already heard about baked beans, but string beans.
Well, how about green beans?
Oh, green beans. Okay.
Same thing, basically. Although they, I don't know if they have them where you live or wherever you other people in the class live, but they have a kind of green beans called string bean. They call them string beans here. In the United States, we call string beans and green beans are the same thing. But they have one here in the Philippines called string beans, and they like literally never stop growing. They're like one bean, but it's like longer than a human being. So they wrap it up like a rope when they sell it to you. It's very funny. It's really kind of weird. It's quite strange, actually. It's just like green beans, but it's a little tougher. You have to cook it longer. Anyway, interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, okay, Anna, Carolina, take a look at the next one.
Okay. 2 pieces horsey radish. It's like I don't know these ingredients.
Horseradish. Well, to tell you the truth, in America we would call this white radish.
Oh, okay. I know.
That's all. But there is something called a horseradish. But horseradish is very, very, very hot. Do you ever eat sushi, Anna?
I like sushi.
You do. So, do you like the green stuff that you eat with sushi? You get a little ball of green stuff and you mix it in with the soy sauce, and it's really, really hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like.
You like it? Okay, well that's pretty much horseradish. It's the same thing. It comes from another type of horseradish. There are different ones, but there are many kinds of radishes. Some are just a little bit spicy, and some of which are really incredibly spicy. Hajar, can you read this next one?
Gabi.
Uh-huh. Okay. What's wrong with this word? There's a mistake here. Oops.
Plate.
Well, it says peeled, but what's wrong with that? To peel is a verb, but what's wrong with this? Do you know what's wrong with this word, Hajar?
No.
It's
No?
missing an L.
No. You peel. Taro is like a potato. Okay. It's actually got a weird flavor. I don't really like it very much. Do you know what taro is, Hajar?
No.
No, it's a weird kind of potato. I prefer to make my sinigang with potato. But it should be peeled. You peel an onion, you peel garlic, you peel a potato, 2 L's. There is a word P-A-L, but to peel, that a bell peels. That means to ring like a bell. So that's kind of silly when it says, okay, 3 pieces of taro like ring like a bell. That doesn't even make sense. It's kind of crazy. IRA, how about the next one? Ayara?
Hello?
Hello?
Two-piece
Hello?
silipeg sinigang and green finger pepper.
All right. Silipag sigang. Yeah, very good. That's you're reading Philippines language, and you're actually quite good at it. Anyway, they're green finger peppers. Yeah, pretty good. I'm actually quite impressed. And then they want sampalak or tamarind. Tamarind. Do you know what tamarind is?
No.
No
Is
idea.
it a fruit? A fruit? A
Tamarind?
black? Mhm.
Yeah, well, yes, it is. Have you ever eaten tamarind?
Yes, it is a black fruit, a small. It
Uh-huh.
has 2 seeds, and
Yep.
it comes inside what's the name?
Like a pod.
Like a pod, yes, a
Yep.
brown pod.
That's
And
it.
the taste is a bit acidic.
Yeah, it's very, very sour. Acidic. That's it. Right. So this it's almost like a soup or a stew. This sinigang has a very sour flavor. It's a very different kind of flavor because you have the meat and then it's a little there's peppers, spicy peppers, and very sour tamarind flavor. It's very interesting. Patis, okay, in English we just say fish sauce. Okay, and then water. All right. Well, we'll probably never have time for this, but just because it's interesting, we can try. Anna, Carolina, what do you do? First sentence. Peel.
Okay, I boil sampalok. I don't know what is sampalok.
Yeah.
In water
Sampalok.
until the
Tamarind.
shell.
Yeah. It's the tamarind.
Tamarind. Oh, right. Until the shell shows cracks. Let cool, then peel off the shells, and with a strainer, pour sampalok inclusive water into a bowl. Gently massage the sampalok meat off the seeds. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
thing
that's
is
the
like
tricky part.
strain. Okay, I understood. This recipe sounds very
Yeah. So
exotic.
it is. Yeah. Gently massage. Okay, sometimes we use this for food. You might have to gently massage the bread. You might have to gently massage something so that if something like, well, in this
So,
case, so the meat falls off.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
the shrimp must be better than the pork because you use fish, fishy, fishy what? Can you scroll up?
Yeah. Fish sauce, patis.
Fish sauce. Uh-huh.
I'll tell you something about this recipe. If you eat well, I mean, onions and tomatoes, I'm sure you guys know, but you eat taro by itself, or white radishes by themselves, or finger peppers, or tamarind, or fish sauce, all these things are disgusting if you just ate it by itself. But when you put them together, something magical happens.
Yes, it sounds good, but in my opinion, it goes well with shrimp. You know,
Maybe.
I
Yeah,
cannot
probably would.
imagine it with pork. Mm.
Yeah, I like it with shrimp better. I like food. I like it with anything. Anyway, if you're interested, of course, the recipe is there under the class description. However, my time is up for now. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. And I'll see you
Thank you,
again
teacher.
next
Bye.
time here on Verbling. Bye-bye.